Okay, everyone, it is about 4:15 and we will go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining this I3 webinar covering Cycle 5, Creative Communicators and Computational Thinkers, which includes educating our students how to collect accurate data and how to appropriately communicate with a variety of digital platforms. I hope everyone is having a great day, and hopefully you can learn something that you can utilize at your campus. My name is Crystal Shepard, and I'm the school librarian in I3 at Webb Middle School, and I will be your presenter today. My partner's name is Gina King, and she is the amazing librarian in I3 at Austin Academy, and she will be our chat moderator. So if you have any questions, please ask them on the chat, and she will help you as much as possible as we go along. I am, of course, available for questions as well. So here are our email addresses and Twitter handles. And at the end of the webinar, Gina will post the link for your CPE credit. So be sure to click on that and get your credit for the webinar today. So the topics today that we are focusing on are students working as creative communicators and computational thinkers. I selected the Newseum tool primarily because of the technology that we have readily available at my campus. Within the library, we have 8 desktop stations, but this year at the middle school level, we of course had our Chromebook rollout. So all the students have been issued a device. And with those devices, we want our GISD students to have the skills to collect, evaluate, synthesize accurate data so they can then create their correct outputs and other various class projects. So why should we use the Newseum digital tools? I think these are awesome because through one login, teachers can access all of the features available. As a librarian, I think it's necessary to explain the importance of trustworthy media, and that is a focal point for Newseum. So this is the homepage slide for Newseum. They have the today's front page section. It offers updated content regularly. It is filled with primary sources and teacher lesson plans. So we have every student at the middle grade level having a district issued device combined with our various social media platforms today, yet Gina and I think it's an issue that's becoming more prevalent is that students cannot recognize fake news. So I really think that teachers will find this site valuable for teaching news and media literacy while seeing the value of the free and independent press. So with this homepage for Newseum, along with their ed classes and training page, you can see they have many options available for teachers. I love that you can see here they can filter by grade level is an option along with your educator filter. So how do we sign into Newseum? First, let me point out that there's 2 different websites. There's Newseum, and then there's the Newseum for educators, so Newseum ED. Teachers can access Newseum for education through the web address here on the screen, but if you go to just the Newseum website, it's going to take you to their page for their physical location, which is in DC, where you can see their exhibit, their event schedule, but it will not have the same features or content as what's available on the educator login. The Educator Collections tab, this has a great deal of resources for teachers, including activities. It has printables and class posters. They have a media literacy booster pack with great printables. There's a fact finder. They use the acronym ESCAPE for evaluating information. And what I really like about it is they discuss the analytical aspects, such as separating fact from fiction, identifying bias, which I think many teachers in content areas from history, ELAR, journalism, they can appreciate all of these and build lessons around them. Some additional features of Newseum for educators are the tools. Recently, I was just working with 7th grade history, and they're moving into their civil rights research. So Newseum let me filter by grade level and then offer the topics for 7th grade civil rights. That was, of course, the option for the 7th grade level. And then these are just a glimpse of some of their lessons here. Turning points, knowns and unknowns, reporting out, and we'll dig deeper into these later. They also have the Ed collection, and this is just a snapshot of what a lesson has to offer within their lesson plan. Again, sticking with civil rights, there is an interactive map provided, a timeline, then multiple discussion questions, the activity extension list, and then some of your standards. So here's that interactive timeline that I'd like to point out. So if you choose a lesson or article, it can be pushed down to your Google Classroom. Looking on the left, you can share it with your classroom, you can tweet it, you can email it out. And then this was just an attachment within that within that civil rights lesson that would be beneficial for the student research. They can email it to a colleague. And what I really like here, if you notice, they have filter options. So we can select certain people from the civil rights timeline, or we can select certain topics within that era as well. Okay, so they also offer critical debates. This is the final item I want to touch on just before we go ahead and move over to the website itself. Supporting claims and using evidence from the text is an area of focus for many teachers. I know I've taught 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I just love how Newseum uses current and historical topics for their debates. They outline the lesson. They provide documents that are available for educators to download, and really having our students support a claim with evidence from text is critical at the middle grade level. So let's go ahead and jump over to the Newseum website. All right, so again, I am going to Newseum for Education, which is newseumed.org, and teachers can access this site from school or home. I would suggest using your GISD email when creating your account because it is compatible with your Google Classroom. So you want to use that email address. This, as you can see, is their homepage. I am already logged in. They have their classes and training, collection, tools, and news here. But as you scroll for their media literacy resources, they're mentioned here. They hyperlink out for their lessons, education collections as well. These were some of the ones that we touched on in the slides. I would say let's look at the fact finder that they have here as a sample. And we can just click into that. It gives you the additional details, gives you a grade range there, topics, journalism. It gives us a note to teachers. Then below, we can select one of their choices from this menu. Is it fair? Is it news? Let's take a look at that one. So this lesson here has the details, the grade levels. It has a little video segment. that teachers can play, approximately 4.5 minutes long. And then down below, again, it's teacher note. The downloads, discussion questions, a media map. I mean, what teacher wouldn't love this? I mean, the lesson is completely built. It has extensions, another video that can be watched. And then, of course, our standards are mentioned here. We have our ISTE standards and our Common Core. So I know as a teacher, it was awesome just to have a lesson plan already built. We would, of course, modify it as we needed to for GISD or what your campus requires for your lesson plan. But it's really great just to have all of those snippets there of what you need. So let me go ahead and jump back a couple tabs. Another one that I wanted to share with you is the Media Literacy, the Booster Pack. This one has really great printables for evaluating information. Newseum uses the acronym called ESCAPE for evaluating information, and that's actually one of the tabs here. They offer it as a poster or activity. And there's multiple activities listed within each topic. So I selected evaluating information, and then it gives you these different choices. I think this might have me downloaded as a PDF, but we'll see. Yes, but I'll go ahead and show you that so you can preview it. So this is their graphic. And then here are their 6 ways to evaluate information. Do the facts hold up? What is the source, context, audience, and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to their lesson plans. There's multiple ways to access them from the top horizontal menu, but they also hyperlink out as well in the middle of the page. So being at the middle school level, I like to go ahead and filter specific for my age group. So I'll go ahead, and since we've been talking about civil rights, I'll talk 7th here. I can select either topic or type of tool. So I'll go ahead and make my selection. And let's take a look at the turning points. This would be the space where you can just immediately share, email, if you wish to do that, without digging into the lesson plan, or you can go ahead and click to view. So it gives you a time frame, again, suggested grades, your materials, there's your download items. They have an awesome interactive timeline that a history teacher could push down to Google Classroom for the research. And this is the area that I was telling you about the filters that they offer. So you can select whomever you wanted from their list, or you could select your topics, and it jumps you into that part of the timeline. And it gives you a little artifact viewer here, so you can look closer at the image they're giving you. And then, of course, if the teacher wanted any of the printables from this lesson, they are in there as Word and PDF documents. And then there were the extension options as well, if a teacher wanted to use those. Okay, so that was the lesson plans. Let's jump over to their digital artifacts and videos. Because while not every teacher may want to use their lessons, they may still would like to use their primary sources, which is classroom appropriate or footage that can be used for their topic. So digital artifacts are here, and videos. And you can access this as well through type of tool, just under and selecting digital artifacts if that's what you wanted. So there's all these different choices. If we want to just select the grade, we can do that. So let's say 8th grade in this case. This didn't give us anything, but we know there's options in 7th. So there's those. And then the videos. So 20 of 103 options. That could be used. And again, I think this is just a great feature. I know teachers use YouTube a lot, or maybe post those links into SafeShare, but this is a great alternative, I think, to that. All right, let's change our type of tool and change to critical debates. I know supporting a claim and text evidence are areas of focus for many teachers, and Newseum uses current and historical topics for these debates while outlining a lesson that provides documents that are available for educators to download. So these are all of their critical debates. If we want to filter by a grade level and see what's available, we can do that here. So this was the protest sample that I had in the slides. It also points out that it's part of a debate comparison. If a teacher wanted to jump over to that as an option, it again gives us the timeline, the downloads. Then they give us a case, and the teacher can present this to the class. And have the class then utilize the artifacts that are provided and state their position and how they're going to support it. All right, the final thing that I would like to touch on for this website here is there's news feature. They have announcements, classroom connections, media mentions, this is what their announcements looks like. It's talking about Girl Scout Day at Newseum. Again, that's in DC. Their classroom connections, I really like. So this is the Women's History Month resources, and here we go. So it hyperlinks out to all the other options as well. If you want to touch on the timeline, the convention, and it gives you a little more about which collection these are in. As you can see. And so you can jump over if you would like to move over to, for instance, this collection right here, or if you want to move over to the timeline and utilize that in the classroom. The media map. There we go. So again, we talked about the classes and training, and that was the area where you could filter by your grade level grouping. So 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, and they also had the educator option. So fighting fake news, how to outsmart trolls and troublemakers. Evaluating media. If we move to educator, we have educator workshops, media ethics, leading free speech debates, reporting the Civil War, we had the collections, and that was your teacher resources. That is where we clicked on the Media Literacy Booster Pack, the Fact Finder, and where their posters are located. And then we hyperlinked out. We used these for the artifacts, videos, and historical events. Or you can use those over here at Tools, is where that was located. And that's where you can select your type of tool, your topic, or your grade level. So I will put our contact slide back up. I really hope that you can check out the website if you have time and you're able to explore this resource further, and that some of the tools within Newseum resonated with you today. Definitely share this resource with your teachers and students so you can also help create citizens who think critically and evaluate information. Please post your questions over Newseum before we close out today. My name is Crystal Shepard. I'm the librarian at Webb, and my partner is Gina King, and she is at Austin. And feel free to reach out to either of us if you have any questions or if you would be interested in collaborating with us. Thank you so much, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.